Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this session. My name is Kolajo Adeyinka, and I'm the System Integration and Deployment Manager for JHSPSM Nigeria. JHSPSM Nigeria is a USAID global health supply chain that is being handled by Chemonics in Nigeria. And let me start by saying Chemonics is an international development company that has more than 5,000 employees worldwide, working in some of the most challenging and complex environments. Here in Nigeria, we work on multiple aid supply chain programs for donors such as USAID and Global Fund, basically. And yesterday, I believe some of you are part of the program of this session, where you see a colleague of mine talked about COMS, which was Commodity Order Management System. That is the center of managing the supply chain system here in Nigeria. But today, I would like to talk about another innovation that we have, which is data warehouse. So the biggest game changer in modern time is technology. Technology has changed the way we live, the way we transact business, the way we socialize, the way we interact, and of course, the way we conduct businesses. The change has affected the way we collect data, how we save the data, and of course, how we use them, because data grows every day. And in business as well, data is everything from performance to routine tasks to visibility to analysis, and of course, for decision making support system. It's all about data. And at Chemonics, we also embrace this and adopted technology to develop better and to do development in a better way and in a very smarter way. At Chemonics, we are also harnessing the power of technology to manage our data by developing our own solution internally, customized and tailored to suit our own business processes and to boost our performance. We are developing technology that will improve our capability and also affects the way we perform and the way we undo all the things, development work we do basically, for better collaborations, for sharing, for analysis, for visualization, and of course, decision support, because what data is good for is to make decisions. And when you are in charge of an organization or you have an organization and you could not make a decision because of the fact that you don't have the right data you need to have in order to make the right decision you need to make, then you know a lot of things is going to go wrong. So that is what we do. I would like to first state here the problem statement we're experiencing on global health supply chain before we introduce this innovation called data warehouse. First of all, global health supply chain in Nigeria is very complex. We're talking about a very complex situation. We have multiple programs we're handling. We have multiple funder that are also responsible to ensure that this thing works. We have millions of live commodity at which we are dispensing. We have over 16,000 service delivery points that we are delivering this commodity to by annually. And everything as it is, it's very big, very large, and very complex. And other challenges we're facing is we have multiple segregated systems to take care of all the key areas in our supply chain. Our supply chain, as large as it is, we have different systems in different areas to manage different things, from planning, supply planning, to warehousing, to managing the supply chain, to managing the finances. We have different systems. And all the system doesn't talk to one another. Each one of them has their own processes within and share their data and export. So this is the core problem that's actually brought about what we're looking for solution for. Then also we lack visibility into the supply chain, that is from end to end. We don't have visibility into the data in terms of supply chain. And the most important, which is the mother of them all, is that there are a lot of data sources. We have SharePoint data, we have Excel sheets, there are many data that are moving from emails one to another. Then most importantly, we have a standalone system, about 9 of them, segregated system that doesn't talk to each other, that doesn't share data, that information doesn't flow from one to another. So that was a very big problem. And so we begin looking for solutions. And our solution, we actually have the key points of things we're looking for in our solution. And we start with looking at a situation where we can integrate all existing standalone systems where they can share data, where you can see the flow of progress of one activity from one end to another. And also, we're trying to create a single source of truth where you can get data from. And also, we're trying to connect all our supply chain data. So we want them to flow together so that there is no break in the chain of the communication or the link within the data. And also, we're trying to create integrated supply chain visibility, where we're able to have visibility from where you plan forming products to where the product is being consumed at the facility. And also, we're trying to provide an instant availability of data for staff to perform their task because, for example, like I say, it's a supply chain, and in the block of the chain, there are some people that are in some areas. So it is the finished work of some that will be a raw material for some to work. And for example, whoever that need a raw material of one to work and couldn't get it, in the previous time you have to be going back and forth in order to get it, which is a very big challenge that we're trying to solve. And also to provide visibility for better decision making. And lastly, we're trying to provide a data for analysis. So that is what gave birth to data warehouse. So let me introduce you to GHS PSM Nigeria Data Warehouse. We call it data warehouse actually. Data warehouse as in data warehouse. The GHS PSM Nigeria Data Warehouse is a cloud-based relational database system to store our end-to-end large growing supply chain data from wide range of sources and within the project. It consists of historical, cumulative data that we derive from all our transactional data from all our supply chain systems from different sources. Though remember, we don't have not only systems, there are some that they're just data that is being created and we have to consume them to ensure that it's part of the data warehouse. And this data warehouse serves as a single source of truth across all our various data levels. We also store all historical and all current data for reporting, for export, for analysis, and for decision making. Inside the data warehouse, what we do basically, we collect all this data from different data sources. We structure them. We make them to be inside the data warehouse so that it can be retrieved, and of course, it can be used for decision making. It can be used for information. Other same member that need some data might be able to have access to such data and get it on instant without having to scramble around to get it. So I would like to introduce you to how we access this data. The data in data warehouse are collected from different data sources and are stored. So the data warehouse can be accessed across various platforms: web application, desktop application, mobile application, advanced analytic application like Power BI, because we actually use Power BI. There are some other advanced analytics that can be used as well, like Tableau, but we are actually using Power BI. Then also API. Okay, with the data warehouse, all the data is being unified and are connected from end to end. These data are being consolidated into a single source that enables accessibility, sharing, integration. And another important part is access control. What does access control mean? Access control is we are able to create a data governance where we control how people use this data, because the data are the originate as owner, for example, those that generate the data, and some other people some are those that use that data. So, and we created it in a way that what you need to see, that is the only thing you've been exposed to. What you don't need to see, you don't have to see it. And what you need to update, you can update them. What you can bring in, you can bring the data. So the access control is so in such a way that we don't jeopardize what we have created, and we don't expose some data that is not supposed to expose to people that are not supposed to see them. So these are data. We also use them within supply chain. We use it for supply chain planning. We use it for supply operation, and we use it for reporting and of course for management. Data warehouse will basically make data available on the go. So I want to introduce it to the way our development plan was when we're trying to put up this data warehouse. we actually have it in phases. We have about 3 phases in all. And we started with phase 1, which is core development. During the core development, we developed the framework design, and we developed technical definition, which is the wireframe that determines how the data warehouse is going to be structured. Then also we did integration with system. Like I said the other time, we have segregated systems. What we did was to connect those systems and bring all the data out of them and integrate them and create a structure where these data can communicate, can talk to each other, that we can join them together. Then most importantly, we did ETL and documentation. ETL is extraction, transform, and load, a process that enables us to extract all the data and transform them in such a way that database can actually read them, or machine can read it properly in order for us to be able to query them. And of course, we load them into the database. And documentation. And most importantly, this part we did the web portal. The web portal is an interactive portal where users can directly communicate or interact with the data that is inside the data warehouse based on their different module. Then another phase we have advanced development. Advanced development, that's the phase 2. That is the stage at which we are currently. And what we're doing here is we're doing automation in terms of data flow. We are doing data quality optimization. We are also trying to put together a manager decision support visibility, so that as a manager, you'll be able to have access to all that you need in terms of information, in terms of data, in terms of high-level visibility, so that you'll be able to know what is eating you next. So the next, which is going to be the cup on the cake, is the decision support. I think that is the ultimate in terms of visibility of data. And what we're trying to achieve with that, we're trying to achieve advanced management interactive dashboard, where we don't just give a dashboard, but we give an interactive dashboard where a management will be able to interact with it, we'll be able to query, we'll be able to go a little bit deeper to get more information. Then also with Power BI visualization, analysis and reporting, where you'll be able to move this data into analysis application that can do a further analysis, that can do further reporting, and can do an advanced visualization of them, where this information is going to be useful for decision support majorly. So what are the success that we have achieved so far for data warehouse? Currently, because of time, I will not be able to go into detail, but let me just highlight them one after the other, at least a little I can. Data warehouse currently that we have built is a one-stop shop for data storage and retrieval and access for the project. Data warehouse serve as a master data bank for communication for other applications developed internally, because we also develop other applications and there are need for sharing of data, especially master data. So data warehouse serve as a place where these applications can communicate and get data they needed from. Then also data bank for development of different business models for analytics and visualization. Also, data warehouse has increased our level of visibility into supply chain data. Unlike before, now we can see, for example, a product from planning stage to requisition stage to procurement stage to shipment into the country to how it's being warehoused at central warehouses, or how it's being shipped to the various axial warehouses, from there to service delivery points, and how reporting is being gotten on them, that is logistic report, and also the PODI is being delivered. So all these things are being connected thanks to data warehouse, because we can bring all these segregated data together, pull them there and join them, and we can have a visibility on the whole entire large supply chain. Also, data warehouse make visualization and reporting using Power BI possible. And data warehouse has already improved our accessibility into data, into supply chain information. Let me share with you some of the screenshots on the data warehouse. This is the screenshots for the web portal for the data warehouse. Here you can see the desktop how it looks, and here you can see the mobile phone how it looks. It can be accessed using different platforms, and you get all the information you need. At the right side, that's where you see all the navigation to the modules, because it has different modules and all of them has different data. And on the content side, you will see the data that you want to access And of course, this data can be viewed and of course can also be exported in terms of if you want to download it, you can download it for further analysis or to use it for a reporting and so on and so forth. This a Microsoft Power BI also view in terms of web desktop view for how data warehouse is producing output in Power BI. And I also like to share some of the visualization and reporting that it has been achieved currently using the same using Power BI, using the same data warehouse as a data source. So this is what I want to share with you today. Thank you. I know some of you might want to have questions, or we have questions that you might want to ask, and I think I will be available to answer your questions and to share more light to this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kalajo. Yes, we've had a few questions come in. One of them was, how long did the different phases take to complete, and was the system accessible between implementation of each phase?
Okay, I think I'll answer that question first. The first phase of data warehouse took us like a year. And the reason why it took us like a year was because it was the foundation, because we had a lot of challenges that we were not seeing coming from the beginning. Our own is we planned technical implementation, and we did analysis, we did requirement analysis, and we just map out a route, that we wanted to work. Unfortunately, when we get there, it was a different story entirely. So it took us like a year to put all these things together in terms of phase one. So phase two is what we're working on right now. And then phase two is what we're trying to make it more advanced. But despite the fact that we are still stage one, the gain that we're enjoying with the data warehouse is like a game changer. It has changed everything. I can imagine by the time we go to third stage, what it's going to be. So that is how it is, basically.
Great.
Other questions?
We also had a question about if you can speak a little bit more about, what are the different functions and the differences between Power BI and API, and just define them for some of our participants.
Okay, I wouldn't want to take much time, but the difference between Power BI and API is very simple. Power BI is basically an analytic tool where we are able to connect to data warehouse data and get the reporting and analysis from it. Advanced analysis for that matter. But unlike API is like a gateway that enables another application to be able to talk to the data warehouse and be able to fetch data from it without human interference. So basically, that is what API does.
Excellent. Another question we have is access limited to GHSE PSM staff only, or is the entire system accessible to the Ministry of Health? And is it intended to be transitioned to them, if so?
Well, for now, the access is only for GHSE PSM staff. And like I said, there is a data governance for managing data warehouse, because not all the data can be exposed to everybody. We only give you what you need per time. So currently, it's still serving as internal system to manage our global health supply chain within Nigeria. And we're hoping to transition it, of course, to government by the time we're transitioning the project at the same time, so that it serves as a tool that can help them to have holistic visibility on the supply chain at large. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Kalajo. I'll let Joseph chime in if he wants to add more to that. I don't see any other questions in the chat, but while people are maybe thinking about it, I know we still have 5 minutes left. Can you talk a little bit about data security? I know, this is, as you mentioned, it's a large group of data and some of it is sensitive. So how do you ensure the data remains secure?
Okay, concerning data security is part of what we spend very huge amount of time working on when we're developing these projects. And because we know for sure that when a right data gets to the wrong hand, a lot of things can go wrong. So, and in order to guide against that, we're trying to put our process in order to ensure that we do this very right and correctly. One thing is this: the data the data warehouse itself is a cloud-based solution. So what that means is it's in the cloud, and we have third-party security that helps us in managing the access control to the data. Data warehouse itself cannot be connected to by individual. It doesn't have such privilege that you can connect to it by individual. It can only be connected to by existing systems. And there is always a gateway that link from data warehouse to whatever systems that is going to be connecting with data warehouse. I'll be connecting to users. For example, if user want to interact with this data using web platform, you are not connecting directly to data warehouse. You are connecting to the web platform. So web platform have access to enter the data warehouse, to retrieve some data, and to return some data. Some of these systems, all of them doesn't have read and write. As a matter of fact, interaction does not have write. It is read only. So we have another impute platform that enables us to impute data into it. And on the exit platform, we ensure that you don't have access to all the entire data. You only have access to what you need per time. And also, we also have a monitoring system that monitors the activities that goes on different platforms, so that when we notice any malicious activity, we can quickly come to that rescue and be able to create some sort of measurements that will prevent our data to be accessed by wrongful people. Most of access to this data, we are monitoring them continuously from time to time, monitoring the kind of people that access these platforms and see where they are from and how they use them. Apart from the internal development team that are working basically on the data, those are the people that have unlimited access to data warehouse, where they continuously working on the data in terms of rebuilding, in terms of integrity of the data, in terms of data quality, in terms of the data that needs to be on the warehouse for continuous updating, and in terms of continuous building, because work is still on it as we speak. We are still building version 2 as we speak right now, and we want that version 2 to be the one that we speak to the phase 2 of the project, so that the benefits can go beyond what we have right now.
Excellent, thank you. And I think we have time for one more question. So another one about Power BI. Can you speak a little bit about the performance of Power BI? What subscription tier are you using, and are you using Microsoft Azure on the cloud from which Power BI links to? So a little bit more about the back end linkages and how you're finding working with Power BI and producing those dashboards you shared.
Well, Power BI is basically a tool that can connect data from different data sources. Power BI can connect data from different databases. It can connect data from APIs. It can connect data from data stream. It can connect data from data file, and so on and so forth. So it's the same process that we use to connect the data from data warehouse directly to Power BI. Power BI is a platform on its own, and it has a gateway. So we open a Power BI gateway with this privilege and access into the data warehouse, and to project and to give a reporting based on some specific data sets. So connecting the data is behind the scene when you are creating the report. Basically, if you want to create a report, you have to create a privilege that which enables you to have access to data, and then you pull the data you want to pull, and you also design it or configure it in such a way that you want to pull the data at once inside it, or you want to make it a live, that it will be querying the data directly. And most of the reports we have, actually, they are live data that are querying the data directly from the data warehouse, and it's giving the report on the Power BI. And the users of those reports, they are using it most importantly for decision support and to check the performance of some of the activities area that needs to have been done. Then it also measures progress on some of the achievements and the improvements in terms of development that we have been engaging in all the fields on this kind of activity. So connecting Power BI with data warehouse was not anything difficult or anything special or something out of the blue. It's just like regular connectivity that you connect data and connect it down to the data warehouse. But like I said the other time, data warehouse doesn't speak to anybody. As a matter of fact, it doesn't speak to any system. It speaks to system that we specify. It's one of the security setup in the firewall, so that you ensure that it doesn't talk to anyone that you just come in and get the data out, or it talks to this system. And most of this system, of course, they are read-only, and they're not just read-only, but they are read-only with different privileges that enables users to have access to only the areas they need to have access to. I hope that's it. That's also the answers the question.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I know we are right on time, so I think we will end there. But thank you, Collaggio, for this excellent presentation, and thank you everyone for attending. We will be sharing the recording of this, so in case you missed it or just want to listen to it again, you can definitely do so. So please stay tuned for that, and thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you for everybody for coming.